Evening all, it's Louise with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, if for those of you who didn't catch the live yesterday, it was only a quick live. The person who has won the Lightseers Tarot, this is my deck, is Susan Gallen, and her name for the seahorse is Bluebell. I'm still waiting for Susan to get in contact with me via my email. And if you are watching this, Susan, if you haven't contacted me by 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, I'm going to go back to the draw. In the meantime, I'm holding off putting any more names in the hat. I'm done putting names in the hat. So whoever's put names in the hat, they are the ones that are going to stay there. I'm not taking any more names. Right. I did come on yesterday and I promised a reading on ahead of Rachel Reeves' spring statement. So is this spring statement going to spring us into even more poverty? Now, she's insisting that it's not a budget. The Tories are insisting it's an emergency budget. But the only thing that I've got from my meditation today is it's all I saw were lots of old people counting pennies. So I'm wondering whether she's coming for taxing pensions. I mean, I took early retirement from a job I had for many years, and I'm taxed on my pension. I paid tax when I paid into the pension scheme. I paid tax when I drew my pension, and I paid tax on the pension that I received, the private pension that I received, which isn't very much. And every time I work a few more hours, I get taxed even more because everything I earn just comes off my pension. So it's hardly worth working and claiming a small private pension. But anyway, I'm not whinging about it. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't eat. So I'm not complaining. But I'm wondering whether she's going to start means testing pensions. And if that's the case, if we're paying into a pension, I'm still paying into it because I'm still working. I went back to work. So if I'm paying into the national insurance, which covers people's pensions, and yet I'm not going to be able to draw a pension, or people who earn over a certain amount aren't going to be able to draw a pension, then what the hell are we paying it for? And I really truly believe she's coming for the pensioners, and I really believe that it's perversely tied to the assisted dying bill. And that sounds really, really tin hatty and conspiracy theorist type thing, but the feeling that I have is really, really strong. But is she going to survive this year as Chancellor of the Exchequer? And that, my friends, is in serious doubt. So I'm going to take a look at, I've got my Lightseers out. I'm going to do the Lightseers Tarot, and then I'll take a Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid to finish us off. So tomorrow's spring budget, the spring budget tomorrow, what's it looking like? These have been shuffled, cleansed with sound. They've been had Reiki channeled to them, through them. They've been saged. They've been shuffled within an inch of their lives. So the only reason why I shuffle when I'm got my phone recording is so that people know that I'm not somehow stacked the cards in a particular way, so that what comes out will come out. We've got the Six of Swords. This is probably going to be a fairly quick reading, I think, tonight. Six of Swords, the Emperor, the Six of Cups. What was behind it? Oh my Jesus, the devil. We always get the devil when we're talking about Starmer or Labour Party. I wish he'd just bugger off, to be fair. Right. We've got the Six of Swords and the Emperor. Now, this Six of Swords is very different to the Rider-Waite Six of Swords. This is sort of, it's still got the same meaning in lots of ways, travelling through choppy waters. This feels more like wading through treacle. Now, I know it's not treacle. I know this woman's in a boat, she's going through water. But this boat is being pulled by, how many? 3 crows, 3 birds. Which in anybody's money is not enough to pull a boat very far or very fast. Right. So we're wading through treacle. This spring budget tomorrow, we will still be wading through treacle. It's like there's so many more birds there that could help pull this boat, but they're not. Right. Now I'm getting a different picture. So we've got all these people who are working, who are paying into the system, and I see those people as the 3 crows pulling the boat, pulling the heavy burden. The boat and this woman and all her belongings are pulling this one person in a boat, wading. This person is like pulling somebody through treacle, trying to hold the boat up and keep it going, trying to keep afloat. And then there are 3 other birds in the background doing sod all. So I'm seeing this as, you know, we've got 2 little people, 2 little amount of people carrying the weight, the burden. And there's just as many people farting about doing sod all. So it feels like there's not enough cohesion, there's not enough togetherness, there's not enough community cohesion, if you like. There's not enough, what's the word? There's not enough community spirit. There's not enough togetherness to make the 3 crows that are floating off doing their own thing feel the responsibility and take some responsibility for pulling this boat through this sea. And that's where we are. We've got the people who are working, carrying the heavy load, you know, and the people, those three crows that are pulling it, are the three other people, who are on the least amount of money, paying the most amount of tax. If you think about it, if you had to pay 20% or 50% of your income into tax, and you were on £1 million, 50%, you'd still be pretty much okay. The thing is, all those millionaires are disappearing. They're going elsewhere because they don't want to pay that 50% or higher tax. The rest of us are paying 20% tax plus the national insurance. Then there's the VAT. Then some of us are getting our hours cut because the national insurance on the employers, they can't afford to employ us anymore. On top of that, we're paying the net zero tariff on the gas, the electric, council tax has gone up, another tax, housing's gone up, interest rates, mortgages, rent, gone up, water bills, gone up, food bills, gone up. We're the ones with so little left after slogging our guts out. We're the 3 crows pulling that boat with this one person in it, this heavy load, while all the others basically fuck about. And that's where I see us as we are at the moment. Now, if I'd have read the 6 of Swords from the Rider-Waite tarot deck, I wouldn't have seen that way. Can you see how different cards give you different visuals, give you different connection to your intuition? You know, sometimes we need a bit of that. So to that, gone on a bit about this 6 of Swords, but this one, 6 of Swords, is very, very interesting for this time. And then we've got the Emperor. Now, this Emperor, I don't know what he's got there, but it looks like he's swinging one of those incense things that the Catholic Church tend to have, you know, trying to purify something. He's sat on Mars because the Emperor is Aries. Aries is ruled the ruler of Aries is Mars. There's the ram on the wall. This is self-assurance. This is confidence. This is fiery in nature. It's very masculine in nature. It's Mars, the god of war. So it's like I'm seeing him as being sat on a tinderbox. So we're pulling this heavy burden, and we are sitting on a tinderbox right now. Do you understand where I'm coming from with that? This cannot go on forever. I said a few readings back, it feels like the lid's going to blow off at some point. And it's possible that it's around this spring statement. I'm not saying everybody's going to take to the streets rioting. I think it's just going to be quite explosive. I think a lot of things are going to happen quite quickly. I'm not sure whether Rachel Reeves is going to manage to keep her job. However, my suspicion is that Keir Starmer won't get rid of her because there's no one in the Labour Party that have even got anywhere close to her qualifications. And if you think, put Angela Rayner in as Chancellor, she can't string a sentence together. How's she going to add up? We've got no one in the Labour Party with any experience, real expertise, or even common sense at this point. So, and I voted Labour for most of my life, right up until 2016. I voted Labour, even though it didn't sort of bode well with me some of the time, particularly after 1997. But then again, I've always known what's the alternative. This feels like we're sitting on a tinderbox right now. There's only so long we can keep going like this. And right now, with this being the first card out, I would say this is going to remain like this for some time. And then we've got the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups talks about nostalgia, going back to the good old days. If you look at this card, this is man's best friend. This is loyalty. This dog has been with this man as man and boy. This is talking about the people or the things or the things that you have, the people who you have who are loyal to you and you are loyal to them, that has been sort of there since forever. This is sort of an advice card in a way, is to narrow your focus, stop widening your focus to what's going on around you and trying to forge relationships, friendships and groups with people you don't know. This is about staying loyal to your intuition, your gut feeling. Cups is about your gut feeling, your emotions, your loyalty. This is all about emotion. So I would say this. I think this card, with the imagery, this card is basically saying to me, stay true to yourself throughout, no matter what. And I think in lots of ways that's about speaking your mind. It's about being not afraid to speak your mind. And it's also about know who your friends are. Know who your friends are. Know who you have loyalties to and who has loyalties to you, and stick to those people for now. I think it's just going to get a bit touchy, and I think it's got something to do with free speech. I think this one's got something to do with free speech. I think we've all got to sort of become more narrow focused on the people we can trust and the people who trust us. Because here comes the devil to offer you something magical in return for your soul. This devil has got a person with his head in his hands. He's a puppet master. The puppet master. Yeah. Whatever happens in this spring statement has not come from Rachel Reeves. It's come from faceless people we don't know. And there's an agenda here. And I'm seeing the person on the end of these strings as Keir Starmer right now. Normally with the other devil card, it always comes up with Keir Starmer. It's the other devil card in the Rider-Waite day. I always see that as him having some attachment to something. I think this way around, it's the other way around. I think he's attached to a puppet master. So whatever happens next, even though they are bragging about it and aren't we wonderful, actually they're all having the strings pulled. Which is why you keep your cards close to your chest and you stay loyal to the people who are loyal to you. I think it's be careful what you say and narrow your focus. Narrow your focus. Right, let's have three more. Three more. Three more, please. We've got the Eight of Swords. It was in reverse. Let me have a look at this image. So where we've got this Eight of Swords, let me have a look at it in reverse. Ah, right, I see. The Eight of Swords, this person is looking into a pond. Is it a pond or a mirror? And looking at being restricted. Now, in reverse, she's looking down. She's not restricted. We're no longer restricted. So even though we're slogging away like slaves and the lot's going to go, we're sat on a tinderbox, we're actually not as restricted as we think we are. Swords is about the mind. The mind is about what we think, what we say, what we write, the written word. But this is about what we think. So we're not actually gagged, bound and gagged. We're not as restricted as we think we are. I wonder if there's something coming. Right, I wonder if there is something coming here. Because I've just heard there's something to do with the tariffs on net zero. I think we're going to be unchained from the really restrictive tariffs that we've got on our gas and electric. I think there's something, I don't know whether that's going to come up in the spring budget, but it's going to come around that time. If it hasn't already, I don't know, because I haven't listened to anything at all for days and days. I think something around net zero is going to crop up, and I think it's going to release us from some of the burden, some of this feeling bound and gagged, slogging away, pulling this heavy thing, like basically carrying everyone. I think there's going to be some release of restriction here. Some release of restriction. The lid's going to go on this, and then we've got good card, the Chariot, and the Nine of Cups, Three of Cups. Sorry. So here we've got being quite fiery, remaining loyal to yourself and the people you love, which is going to enable us to move forward, determined to move forward. I think the cogs are going to start speeding up on the machine. This is about moving forward, determined, in charge of our lives, a balance of light and dark, a balance of good and evil. And when you think about it, light and dark they're not two different things. They're just two ends of a spectrum. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good and evil aren't two different things. They're just different ends of a spectrum. We're moving through. We're going to move through it. We're moving through this. And then we've got the Three of Cups, which is a celebration. So it feels like there's some change happening here. It feels like a reversal of fortune. It's coming. I'm not saying she's going to stand up and completely reverse the October budget. I don't think she can do that and save face. Maybe she's going to have to at some point start reversing things. It's got something to do with net zero, definitely. Something definitely to do with net zero. It's got something to do with transport, definitely. And that could just be fuel. No, fuel duty. It could be to do with car tax. It could be to do with car insurance. But there's a celebration to be had here. You know, this is a celebration. Breaking free from the restraints. Oh, this has turned out to be quite a good reading. Oh, has it? Then we've got the Five of Swords. This is a Nine of Cups, right? So we've got the Five of Swords with the Eight of Swords and the Chariot. So we've got being released. We're not as chained, we're not as tied as we think we are. We're not as restricted as we think we are. We can move forward. We are going to move forward. It's got something to do with driving and transport. Something to do with transport. It's going to be some sort of breakthrough here. And then we've got the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is mentally is quite challenging. Fives are about a challenge. There's like a mental challenge here. It's like a mental block. There's a saying that my kids used to say when they were younger, when I used to be nagging at them. They used to say, "Stop pecking my head, Mum, you're pecking my head." It feels like that. It feels like there's some nagging doubts going on with this. It feels like this line is almost too good to be true, and no one trusts it. I think that's what we're saying with that. I think maybe there's going to be some right. So possibly there's going to be some promises here, and no one believes that they're going to be kept. It's like, you're just talking bullshit at me again, just before you reverse what you're going to say. And then we've got the Chariot, moving forward, a celebration, and the Nine of Cups, which is, it's the Nine of Cups is really good. It's like wishes fulfilled. This is like, we're not quite believing that I think they're going to reverse a few things. Not quite believing it, waiting for the next, waiting for it to be shown up as another lie from the Labour Party. It feels like they're going to start easing up on us a bit. But I think they're going to ease up on us because they've been told to. Not because they want to, because they've been told to. But there's a powder keg scenario going off here. So what's our outcome for this spring statement then? What's going to come out eventually out of this spring statement? I'm not taking them. That's more than one. Just one, please. What's going to come up for this spring statement? We've got temperance. Right. If you look at this card, you've got a sun and the sun and the earth. Maybe it's the sun and the earth. The light and the dark. The light and the dark. This one's driving forward with determination. This one's balancing the light and the dark. So I think what's all in all, this spring statement is whatever she comes out with tomorrow is an attempt to redress the balance here. She knows she's gone too far in the October budget. She knows it's really tanked the economy. She knows it's gone too far. Tomorrow's going to be an attempt to redress the balance and try and unpick the huge, massive bollock she dropped when she dropped that October budget, that Halloween budget. So all in all, I think there's going to be some major announcements to do with net zero and transport. And I think that's in some way there to redress the balance. Interestingly enough, here, there's no pentacles here. So I can't see her coming out with anything that's going to help business. Can't see any help for business here. But I think it's all to do with net zero and transport for some reason. Balancing light and dark. Right. Let's have a wisdom of the oracle. And then I'm getting off. I'm only going to do two because they've been shuffled to death. Rachel Reeves, please. Spring statement. Right. Before I do this card, and if you've managed to get this far without falling asleep or clicking off, I want you to put in the comments whether you'd think it would be a good idea for me to do. I'm thinking of doing a live whenever I can. It won't be every week, but whenever I can, possibly on a Saturday or a Sunday. I think probably a Sunday night. The only reason why I'm saying not always is because my daughter works a lot of nights and I tend to take her to work, which means that I don't get back from taking her to work till after 6 when she's working, and I have to be up at 4:30 on the Monday morning. No, I don't, not anymore. I don't work Mondays anymore. So I'm thinking of doing a live every Sunday night once my daughter's gone to work. Just let me know in the comments if you're interested. It won't be every week because she doesn't work every Sunday. Probably twice a month, something like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. It's a bit of a faff for me, but it's I quite enjoy doing it, although it is a bit embarrassing. We've got flexible, and in a way, I'm looking at this. We've had this recently. I can't remember what the definition is. But I'm looking at this, and if you think I've talked about balancing it up, evening up the odds, redressing the balance. If you're a gymnast, say, which I was many moons ago, you won't think it to look at me now. You have to have perfect balance in order to do a handstand like that and maintain it. And it's all about gymnastics is all about perfect balance. So, but this is about flexibility as well, isn't it? Like being flexible in your thinking, I would have thought. So let me have a look. Number 19, I'm just going to read it. Oh, I'm knackered. 19. Oh, I'm not doing relationship message. Number 19, flexible. Even when you have clear vision of how you're going to manifest something, what it'll look like, who will share in it, and what will then be available to you. You still need to relax and open up to other possibilities. Spirit may have much better plans for you. It could be a job you hadn't thought of, a new source of money, or some other opportunity that eluded your imagination. Be flexible and remind yourself this or something better manifests for me now. Then be willing to bend a little, enjoy the miraculous results. And I think with this reading, we are not as restricted. We're not going to be as restricted as we think we are. We are able to balance the light and dark. There is some good news in this. It's got something to do with transport, net zero, and it's going to give us a bit of relief. Although we're going to be quite suspicious of that because we've had a long time. It's not just since July. We've had a long time where we've been told and promised things are going to happen and they never did. There is a wish fulfillment here. We are going to get some concessions. Possibly it won't be tomorrow, I don't think. But I think we're going to see over the next few weeks a reversal, or the beginnings of a reversal of this avid net zero chasing. And I think we're going to find that they're going to ease up on transport in some way. And in the meantime, we'll keep flogging ourselves to death to carry those who can't be asked or who don't want to be asked. But I think there is going to be some good things coming out. I think we're just going to have to be patient. When they start capitulating on what they've said, that will be because even the puppet masters don't like the direction of travel for the UK, because we've probably ceased to be profitable to them. Right now we're still profitable, but when we've got sod all left, we can't keep taking. You can't get blood out of a stone, and I think that's what that means. Can't get blood out of a stone. I think we're going to start becoming a bit stubborn. Right, I'm off. I don't know whether that were cryptic or whether you made any sense of that, because I can't remember a bloody word I've said. Yeah, I'm going to disconnect from my guides for a bit because I'm knackered. Right, I'm going now. See you later. Take care. Ta-ra!